Sample problem 2.8 says that we want to name the ionic compound formed from each of the following pairs of elements. Now, there are some rules listed within the chapter on naming ionic compounds, so that's what we're going to use to follow these, or we're going to follow those rules to name these compounds. So the first one, A, says we have magnesium and nitrogen, and from the rules we have to figure out which one is the cation and which one is the anion. So I'm going to zoom in on the periodic table, and we're going to look at magnesium and we're going to look at nitrogen and figure out which one's going to be which. So here I have magnesium. All right, so the noble gas after it is argon, the noble gas before it is neon. Number 12 is closer to number 10, so that means that's where he's going to want to go. He's got to lose 2 electrons to get there, so that's a 2+ charge. So that's going to be our cation, which means that nitrogen is going to be our anion. It's going to have the negative charge. And if you look here, you'll see, right, the closest noble gas to nitrogen is neon, right, and it's got to gain 1, 2, 3 electrons to get there. Okay, so the rule states that the cation comes first and gets to keep its name. So that's going to be magnesium. So I'm going to write down magnesium. The anion comes second and gets the IDE ending. So it's going to be magnesium nitride. All right, B is iodine and cadmium. So let's check out the periodic table for those two. Right here's iodine. It's the one they listed first, number 53. It's closest to xenon, right? 53 is closer to 54 than it is 36, krypton. So it's going to gain an electron to get there. So that means it's going to have a -1 charge, which means that cadmium then here is going to be our cation. It's going to be listed first in the naming. So cadmium. And then remember the anion gets the ide ending, so cadmium iodide. All right, and then let's see, strontium and fluorine. So we find strontium, number 38. Noble gas past it is xenon. The previous noble gas before it is krypton, number 36. 38 is closer to 36, has to lose 2 electrons to get there. It is our cation. Fluorine, closest noble gas is neon, has to gain an electron. It's our anion. So strontium's going to come first and keep its name. And fluoride. Fluorine's going to get the ide ending, so fluoride. All right, the last one listed here is sulfur and cesium. For D. So let's check out the periodic table and find sulfur. There it is, number 16. Its closest noble gas is number 18, argon, right? 16 is closer to 18 than it is 10. Has to gain 2 electrons to get there, so it's going to have a 2- charge. Cesium, number 55, is closer to xenon, number 54, than radon, number 86. So it's going to be our cation. So it gets to keep its name and comes first. So I'm going to write cesium. And then sulfur gets the ide ending, so cesium sulfide.